Goodbye, Dad. It's not that we have to quit this life one day. It's how many things we have to quit all at once. Holding hands, hotel rooms, music, the physics of falling leaves, vanilla and jasmine, poppies, smiling, anthills, the color of the sky, coffee and cashmere, literature. If only one could leave this life slowly. Roman pain, hope and despair. Is he in pain? I asked the nurse in profound sorrow. She stridently said he was not, but that wasn't good enough for me. I wasn't concerned with labored breathing or the reflexive symptoms of the dying process. It was all normal at this point. I don't want him to feel anything. I ordered more morphine, and the placid nurse complied. I couldn't help but to frown at her, wondering if anyone was monitoring his morphine levels so sharply when he was reporting that Moses was in his hospital room. Don't even think about messing with me right now. The nurse briefly left the room, the metal clicking as the weighty hospital door closed shut behind her. It sounded louder than it ever had before. I was so glad Christopher was with me, because every sound made me lonelier. I felt so silenced and helpless. Am I killing him? Dad's skin was waxen. Monitor wires snaked all over his slack body, from the upper end of his torso to his groin. His thick knees poked out from the hospital gown like clubs. The room was silent, except for occasional puffing as an automated blood pressure cuff began to inflate. The respirator hummed lightly, and, occasionally, blood gurgled up in his throat. Noiseless tears fell from my eyes. I attempted to daub up the blood that had welled up again, but now blood seeped out of the corners of his mouth, ears, and nose. The more I smeared, the more that blood drizzled out and pooled on the stark white hospital bed linens, so I ignored it. Dad's eyes were sunken, his lips colorless, but I still thought he was beautiful. I couldn't grasp the extremity of what was happening. I fumbled to grab Dad's hands. I firmly held his hands in mine. I loved my father's hands. So strong but gentle. Be strong, Amber. I leaned down and rested my right cheek against his. I could feel the warmth of his blood on my cheek. I didn't move, holding his hands in mine with our cheeks touching. I listened to him draw in his final breath and exhale in a final, shallow expiration. All I could do was bellow like a child in pain. Christopher's weeping voice broke the silence in the room. Your father is gone. He wept. I'd never seen him cry before, but tears plummeted like raindrops from his eyes. My father never told me how to live. He lived charitably and allowed me to watch him do it. That was the end of a brilliant engineer, plagued to death by a terrible, degenerative illness. My only sense of paternal protection was now dead. I was miserable about losing him so early. However, this death was different. I had an invaluable period of expectation and had some context of his passing. I could see what caused his death: alcohol. I had been trying to prepare for the possibility of his death. I was able to tell Dad, I love you, and hear him say sweet pea, laugh, cry, get married, saying all of the things we wanted to say. My coping capacities were directed towards dealing with that expectable end, so the loss of my father made some sense. But the pain was still blockbuster. I hated losing him.